Hello and welcome back to another episode of Just an Average Metalhead. It is me, your host with the most, Matt. And God, we have got what is going to be a future classic album to talk about today. It is the brand new album by prog metalers Opeth, and it is called The Last Will and Testament. It came out on the 22nd of November, so as of today, I've been listening to it for about 24 hours. And it's been a pretty non-stop 24 hours because I wanted to make sure how I felt about it. But quite honestly, this album's going to end up pretty high in my top 10 albums of the year, which will be coming in a couple of weeks at the start of December, so we can get that knocked out of the park straight away. It is Opeth's 14th studio album. It is the first album we've had from Opeth since 2019, which for me, I'm not worried about. Like, it's the longest gap we've had for quite a while, but on the other hand, for me, Opeth are like Tool. Like, the longer they sort of take on music, it's like, it's going to be quality. They don't really like to release anything which is subpar. It's the first full-length concept album by Opeth since 1999, with the release of Still Life, which is like, it is a good album. Like it is a great death metal album. I absolutely love Still Life. It was the first Opeth album I ever listened to. Like, what will it be? Like way back. Like, I probably listened to that for the first time like 2007, 2008. It is phenomenal. Like, I remember my best friend, who like he's still my best friend to these days. To this day, gave me a couple of Opeth CDs. He was like, "Hey, check these out," and that was it. Sold. Loved this band ever since. And it is the first album by Opeth to feature like the death metal like sound since 2008's Watershed. So it is like since like 2011 they've been really working on this prog sound, which has made me fall in love with Opeth even more because I absolutely adore prog. Like, one of my favourite bands of all time are Rush. Like, I love Dream Theater, Genesis. Just, give me all the prog. I love it. Yeah, like I said before, it's a concept album. It's not a concept that kind of bogs the album down either, but it just really gives it like a through line and a good storyline throughout the album. The concept for the album is it's set like post the First World War. It's a rich man who's like has like passed away. His family getting read his last will and testament, and during this like reading, stuff comes out like deep family secrets come out, which kind of shakes everything up for the rest of them. I'm not gonna give it all away. I'm just gonna like either look into it yourself or like listen to the album because it really sort of comes through, especially if you follow along with the lyrics. It is so good. Like, the songwriting quality on this is phenomenal. For some, I know some concept albums kind of think about it a little bit too much, and they end up getting a bit bogged down. Looking at you, Kiss. Like, the concept albums can be a coin flip. They're either absolutely amazing or they are piss poor. Because, yeah, like I said, they can kind of get the idea of like doing a concept can kind of like bog things down and really like mess things up for some bands. But this is not a problem for Opeth on this album. The Last Will and Testament is phenomenal. There's 8 tracks in total. Tracks 1 through 7 are just called like section 1, section 2, all the way through to section 7, and the final track is called A Story Never Told, which is like the big like conclusion to the concept. It is just so good. Like I said, this is an album which brings back those death metal elements back into Opeth's sound that they have been building on since 2011's album Heritage, which like is one of my favourite albums of all time. I could listen to the album all day, every day. Like, the song "The Devil's Orchard" is one of the like best like for like opening tracks of all time. I love that song. But yeah, that really adds another dimension to this like prog sound they've really been building on since 2011. It kind of gives it, like I said, it really gives it more depth, and it adds another element. Because with the prog sound that they've been building on since 2011, this album can go from something that is quite serene and beautiful and like kind of blissed out a little bit at times, to this like brutal bleakness where the death metal growling comes back in, and like Michael Ackerfeld's still got it in his locker. Like, actually, like, he hasn't lost a step. Like, I know it's not really featured on their albums since 2008, but yeah, this is this is the good shit. This is so good. And another thing that adds another element throughout the whole of the album is the strings from the London Session Orchestra. They really add, like, again, they add another dimension to this album. Like, it's the production quality on this album is, it's so good. Like, there's like I said with Carnal Rock the other day, there's no like spaces, but on this album, when it needs that space to breathe, it's there. When like everything comes in, like it's all filled up perfectly. There's no like hollows. Like the quality of the playing is phenomenal as well. But adding that the strings from the London Session Orchestra really, really does add in another element, which is fantastic. The words are barely struggling to come out of my mouth. This album is so good. Like I said, it's going to be very, very high on my album of the year list. There's a couple of guest appearances throughout this album, which genuinely quite surprised me. Like, there is Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. He appears throughout the album because he does a few like spoken word sections throughout, and he also plays flute on Session 4, Session 7, and A Story Never Told. And again, his flute playing, because like he's a master of his instrument, really, again, it adds another dimension to the songs. Like, it really adds a different feel, and like, it's Jethro. He's from Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. The man is like prog Jesus. He's so good. But there is a very, very odd guest spot on this album, but it's great. It works so well, and it's by a person who I've not thought about for quite some time, and that is Joey Tempest from Europe. Yeah, as in the Final Countdown Europe. He does backing vocals on Session 2. And I never knew I needed that in my life, Joey Tempest doing backing vocals on an Opeth record. But I definitely do. Like, his backing vocals counteracting like Michael's more like mellow, clean vocals, and sort of like, yeah, you sort of like that power in the background, and like Michael's still powerful, but he's like, his clean voices are more like, it has like a touch of melancholy to it, which it's, yeah, oh, sorry, I'm just in love with this album. For me personally, like, if you like heavy metal, check out The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. For me, it's a 10 out of 10. That's all I can say. This album is a 10 out of 10. The musicianship is phenomenal. Michael Ackerfeld's songwriting is just on another level. Like, for me, Opeth haven't released a bad album. Like, every single album they've released has been top tier. It's why they're one of the best heavy metal bands on the planet. For me, they are now in the same sort of league as Mastodon. Well, no, Mastodon are in Opeth's league. Like, Opeth have been doing it for a lot longer. But in terms of quality, when it comes to like prog, They are equals. They are sharing the same space. I'm really hoping I can get to see Opeth live in the next year, because that will really cement for me like how they are. I've been dying to see Opeth live for years. But yeah, please check out The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. It is phenomenal. There's like, for me, I can't pick a highlight track, because with it being a concept album, they kind of, it works better as a unit. But if I was to pick a song like to suggest to listen to and then see if it's for you, maybe just listen to section one, the first track of the album, see how you feel, and then roll with it from there. But honestly, like, if it was me, I would happily say just like listen to the full album. It comes in just over 50 minutes, so not even quite an hour. I know it sounds quite daunting when you say like 8 songs and it's like 50 minutes, but trust me, it flies by. It's in and out in like 50 minutes. It is phenomenal. Like, for me, this is Opeth at their best. Like, bringing the prog sound that they created in Heritage, adding in the death metal influence from like the early part of their career, and you get what, for my money, is Opeth's masterpiece. Like, yeah, it's to be 14 albums in and to be creating something like this, they really have done something special. So yeah, please, please, please check out The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. You will not regret it. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Just know you are loved, no matter what. No matter what you're going through, you will always be loved. Keep the faith. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.